From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven Erlandson, takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
All right, rock and roll, hoochie coo, we are ready to go here, people. You have reached the Badass Counseling Show. We are here to blow the shit out of your soul. And we're all set. I've got my crew all set where they're supposed to be. I've got KC in the booth, in studio with Rob. Rob is actually running the studio today with KC. I am out of studio. I am gone. I am remote in a unspoken location that you'll never know. So that's my little secret. Whether you are tuning in from North America, South America, or any of the other 5 continents around the world, it's great to have you here joining the Badass Counseling Show. Rob, what's the good word from the studio?
It's nice and peaceful here, Sven. I don't know if it's because you're not here. I'll assume that's not the reason. But anyway, we're doing fine. Good to see you. Even if it's only in 2 dimensions, you're a 3-dimensional guy, but we're doing all right.
I tell you what. Well, it's good to see you too, Rob. Nice to know you're in good spirits. Rob, we have 2 guests tonight, and we're taking them separately. And you're going to tell me which one we're taking first, and go ahead and read that bio, if you would, please, Rob.
All right, Sven. We heard from Reese, and Reese wrote in and said, "Hey, Sven, I have listened to every single episode of your podcast, as well as read your book and did the journaling questions. I'm still finding myself stuck with not feeling adequate or good enough for someone to not run from me. I've been told that I am too intimidating my entire life, and I don't get it. All I want is to find someone to share my life with. I just continue to find men that find me attractive, but I'm too scary to commit to. I was born in an unusual way, and from the day I was born, I feel like there was a curse put on me that I would have good luck, a special destiny, or even spiritual significance, with some believing the child will be protected or destined for greatness. Yet, I have had nothing but trials, not limited to my sister surviving being shot in the face. All I want is to be happy, and I don't care if that means with no partner. People tell me I could write a book, but I'm tired."
Reese, good to have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming on. We got to get a couple of quick things out of the way here. I was born in an unusual way. In 1 sentence or less, how were you born that is so unusual?
So they call it a mermaid birth. It's 1 in 80,000 babies are born this way, intact, like inside the water bag, fully intact. And supposedly it has some special meanings. The doctors told that to my mom when I was born, and she has told me that for as long as I can remember.
Wait a minute, just so I'm clear. So you were like a sous vide, like in a water bag?
Mhm.
What do you mean in a water bag? What does that mean? I'm not real
So
bright.
you're good. So it never broke. So I came out fully intact inside the water bag. So they had to break it outside of my mother.
I see. A mermaid baby.
Hmm.
Lovely. Who doesn't like mermaids? All right. So there's that. So then your mom has told you that a million times. She's told that story a million times. And I just got to ask very, very briefly, when she tells that story, how does it make you feel?
Kind of makes my skin crawl. I don't know.
Why does it make your skin crawl? You're being told a story about you. Why would that make your skin crawl?
It feels like pressure.
Pressure to what?
Be
What is the
perfect.
part of the story that feels like pressure?
That they said that I would be this perfect blessing or whatever, and so I feel this pressure to always be perfect.
Ah.
Hmm.
And okay, and then just out of curiosity, pressure to always be perfect. And then presumably that pressure to be perfect has been conveyed in many ways in your lifetime. Is that a reasonable statement?
Yep.
Okay. And what is the single biggest way that the pressure to be perfect was conveyed to you as a child? Let's say randomly in your first 10 years.
I mean, there's so much to unpack in
What
since
was
I
the
wrote
what
that.
was the one that just really hammered it home for you above all else? Biggest way.
My sister always acted out, so I would get punished if she did something wrong. So I basically tried to always never do anything wrong. And being that quiet, never doing anything out of turn, ended up putting more pressure from my sister because then when she got in trouble, she was mad at me and hated me. I mean, I don't
But
know
wait a minute, wait a
exactly.
minute, wait. Just so we're clear, and I only want to spend a minute more or two on this.
Hmm.
The pressure to be perfect wasn't even you being punished for shit your sister did. That has nothing to do with you being perfect. That's your parent being a fucking asshole.
Hmm.
That's like if my cat knocks over a vase and I go over and kick my dog. That's for me to say you're a bad dog. Look at what happened with the vase. No, it's just me being an asshole. I know damn
Hmm.
well it wasn't. I just saw it.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Wow.
fear in my childhood
A
of
lot
just,
of fear.
yeah,
And the single biggest fear in your childhood was what?
don't
And
be bad.
if you were quote unquote bad, what did you most fear happening?
Either getting beaten or not being loved.
Beaten or not being loved. All right. So then going back, and so you said your curse then was this thing that you were a special destiny and you had spiritual significance. Because originally when Rob said it, he said that I had this curse and that I had special significance and I had this special destiny. I'm like, well, how is that a curse? But now you talk about it, it makes total
Hmm.
sense. It came with it was a curse because it was all this fucking pressure. You weren't
Hmm.
allowed to just be a normal child. You were never loved for just being you.
I don't know who I am.
Right. No, you couldn't be you. You wasn't good enough. You had to perform. You had to be extra.
Hmm.
So just out of curiosity, then back to this notion of intimidating, because you spend the good chunk here talking about how, I'm attractive and everything, and you are obviously. Not that what I say matters, but you are. And yet you say, I've been told I was too intimidating my entire life. What is the earliest you recall getting the message in one way or another that you're too intimidating? Because just a fucking minute ago, you said you were quiet as a child.
I still pretty quiet if I don't know certain people.
Then what is the very earliest in your life you got the message you're too intimidating? From anyone, anywhere. Was it junior high when the boys, whatever, or was it when did you get the message? Earliest.
I think for the most part, I feel like it's been more of an adult thing.
Okay, so we know then it's not my entire life. So what is the very earliest you recall getting the message and who did it come from that you're too intimidated?
It's a good question. I don't
Now, you can change
remember.
your mind tomorrow or next week, but off the top of your head, roughly what feels right? Roughly.
I mean, and I guess in high school, people used to say I was intimidating because I was so quiet and I didn't talk.
Right. And for guys, that can be I mean, if you're into guys, that can be an intimidating thing. It's just like, can you approach her? She doesn't smile. It's like a little
Yeah.
scary, pretty, and and doesn't talk. That's a little scary because you don't know if you're going to get rejected. The girl who smiles, at least you got a fucking open door there. So was it intimidating in terms of this overwhelming personality or intimidating in terms of like sort of mysterious and not knowing what's going on behind those eyes or what?
Oh, yeah. I get comments about my eyes all the time.
No, but which kind of intimidating is it?
The
Like
quiet.
overwhelming, dominating, intimidating?
No, that's not
It's
me.
it's more the type of who is she, what's really going on inside of her type,
Hmm.
sort of mysterious. Okay, got it. That clears up some things then. Okay, and I'm still finding myself stuck with not feeling adequate or good enough for someone to not run from me. Well, yeah, of course you believe that. You've been taught that shit your entire life. You've been
Yep.
taught you're not good enough your entire life. Why would you ever start to believe now that you are good enough?
I've been trying. I've been working on myself for years.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's really not about, you've listened to all my podcasts, you said, it's not about teaching yourself or believing that I am good enough. That
Hmm.
that what has to happen is to find the message inside, to go inside and find the messages that say, the ones that say you're not good, you don't have value, you're unwanted, that you don't matter. See, that's the problem. It doesn't matter how many good messages you put in if you've got this massive load of crud inside you that says you ain't worth a shit.
Well, since I wrote in, some shit has happened, and I'm currently living at a friend's house because it wasn't safe to be home. I was living with my mom, taking care of my sister and my mom, and my sister went off the deep end of drugs, and it became just scary. So I had to leave, and so I've realized in the last 2 months that even since I was a kid, I was not protected by my mom, and it's to this day. It definitely brings up those feelings of not being wanted or good enough.
And when you say to this day, not protected by my mom, what is your mom not protecting you from to this
My
day?
sister,
First of all, is that older sister or younger sister?
older sister.
I see. And when you were a child, your older sister would terrorize you?
Oh, yeah, she used to tell me I was adopted. She hated me. She got my dad even in on it
Fair
to
enough.
say that.
But you said earlier when you were bad as a child, at times you would be beaten. Presumably, there were harsh words, mean words said to you by the parents as well, right?
Mhm,
I see. So it's being modeled by the parents, and sister is executing what is being given the okie dokie and modeled
mhm,
by the parents. But the parents are not short circuiting that. They're not saying, no, that is the prerogative of the parent. You
mhm.
don't get to do it as well. So it's not, so really, the parents weren't protecting you from the sister, but also they weren't protecting you from themselves,
Right.
right? And so to this day, I gotta ask, how old, you said I was taking care of my sister and my mom. How old is your mom?
72,
How old's your sister?
38,
38. How old are you?
36.
Why would you need to be taking care of a 38-year-old sister before she went off the deep end on drugs?
I moved in with my mom 3 years ago to take care of her. My sister moved in 6 months later, was on drugs, we were trying to help her with her son.
Okay, and why were you taking care of a 72-year-old woman?
Because she's not in great health and she's made bad
Meaning what
choices.
specifically in one sentence or less? What does that mean?
She broke everything on the left side in 2021 and has had struggles.
Let me ask you this. Did you want to go and take care of mom?
Well, at the time, I was getting out of an abusive relationship of 13 years, so I needed a quick landing spot, and I thought it was just going to be temporary until my sister came and kind of threw us all into a freaking whirlwind. And it's just been between overdosing on fentanyl, shot in the face,
Okay, got the sister
all that.
stuff. I want to know about what do you think of the idea of taking care of your mom? Do you like that idea?
It was fine at first, but now it's been 3 years I'm done.
Okay, and right, but let me ask you this. What are you still wanting from your mom?
I guess I just wanted her to pick me.
Right. And was there a shot that maybe if you took care of her, then she'd pick you, then she'd be nice to you, then she'd maybe confirm your worth? Did you think that maybe that would improve your
Maybe,
odds?
maybe.
Right. And yet, she didn't, did she?
Nope. She
She,
lied to me this morning.
what did she say this morning?
There was a SWAT team at her house, and I saw it on the cameras, and my sister was supposed to be somewhere else, but she was in the house, and she didn't tell me.
And so your mother once again picked you. And what is the underlying message that the 72-year-old mother is sending to the 36-year-old daughter?
But I don't matter.
When you were a child, what was the message that would go through your head that you believed about yourself as a child?
Nobody wanted me.
Nobody wants me. And here it is playing out right now. I continue to find men that find me attractive, but I'm too scary to commit to. And all I want is to be happy. Yeah, I can do it with no partner, but I just want, fundamentally, I want someone to want me. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
Right. And just start, let me ask you this. It's a silly question, but what percent do you like you?
Right now, 0.
Why?
I'm struggling to push through right now.
What are you struggling with most?
I just don't have a lot of hope.
Right. What's the single most unlikable thing about you?
If you ask my friends, nothing. Everybody
No,
loves me.
I'm asking you. No, everyone tells you you're too intimidating, but I'm asking you, what do you not like about you?
That I take care of everybody but me.
And what's the fear if you take care of yourself?
I think I've always done it. I don't know any different.
Probably conditioned that was your job growing up, right?
Mm.
Be perfect, do what you're told, be liked by others, and don't be bad. So you're forever reading the fucking room. Stay
Oh,
out of
yeah.
trouble, right?
Hmm.
Expert at reading fucking people. Let me ask you, have you read the book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup?
Yep. Did the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Did all the journaling exercises in writing?
Yep. I
Hmm.
found myself pretty blocked.
What do you
Couldn't
think you're
really
most
think.
blocked on?
Just feel like I don't remember a lot of my childhood, except for some of the bad stuff, you know?
Hmm. And did you journal on some of the bad stuff?
I tried. It's
But
just I couldn't get angry, and this last month I've gotten angry.
Mhm. And the truth is, that's where it is. It's not just the anger. The anger will come, but at the very least, you start with the sadness. You start with what you were longing for.
I think I've
The
been numb.
memories. What's that?
I think I've been numb.
Oh, sure you have. You had to be numb. There's so many feelings inside of you. The body just shuts down. But the feelings are there. The sadness is obviously there. You're in tears right now. Nothing wrong with that. That's good, actually. But the feelings are there, but it requires the willingness to start pulling on those threads. What's the biggest fear if you were to start actually unblocking? If you could choose, if you could actually make yourself start to unblock, what's your fear of what would happen?
I'd probably lose people that I've been probably keeping for no reason.
And who's the one person top of the list you most fear losing?
Probably my mom.
Because if you lose your mom, what do you lose?
I don't know. She's been my constant, even though she's never really picked
What
me.
above all else do you lose if you lose your mom?
I don't know. I really don't.
Well, wouldn't it be reasonable to assume that if she's the one that taught you that you're bad, if she's the one that taught you that you suck or you don't matter, that what you lose is the shot? She's your one shot of someone, of the person who caused you to believe that, to undo it. To say, I was wrong. You do have worth. I do pick you. You are my good and wonderful daughter. I do love you. You are lovable. You are good.
She tells me that all the time, and it makes my skin crawl.
And yet you don't believe it because why, above all else?
She keeps picking my sister.
Right. So it's not just the words. You're wanting confirmation of yourself through thought, word, and deed.
Yep.
Right.
People tell me things all the time, but there's never action behind it.
Right. Right. So if you engage in activities where you're trying to tell yourself how good you are, or gee, I have worth, that's words.
Hmm.
But the actions for yourself of loving yourself, the actions, are you actually going in and doing the ugly work? Let me ask you, what percent was your mom a good mom?
I'm afraid she's going to listen to this.
Well, wait a minute. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I understand that fear. But the bottom line is, I can't heal you if
Hmm.
you're not willing to bring up the truth. So if we're only doing and dealing in half truths, I can't heal you and I'm not saying it is, but if the primary or one of the primary wounds of your life that needs healing is the mother wound, how can I heal it if we can't have an honest conversation?
No, I know. I thought about that before I got on here.
Fair enough, right? Okay, so then that being said, moment of truth here, what percent, if you were to be totally honest, was mom as you from where you sit, not from where she sits? Because you have a choice right now. I can either protect her like you've been doing. The family myth exists to protect the person at the top of the food chain. which I'm betting was probably mom. Maybe not. At least she was a couple notches above you. And so the myth is that mom probably believes that she was a good mom. Does your mother believe she was a good mom?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, then what's the fucking problem if if you tell the truth here? Why are you afraid that she's listening? If she already thinks she wasn't a good mom, then where's the fucking problem?
I just don't want to hurt her.
So you're protecting your mom. There's the problem.
Always.
Well, that's your problem.
Hmm.
That's why you're not fucking healing. You want to keep blaming the child. See, when we're young, mom and dad are good, and mom and dad love me. Therefore, if I'm not getting love, I must be the problem. Surely it's not mom and dad. And here you are at 36, still protecting mom and dad, still choosing to believe the myth, despite all evidence to the contrary, choosing to believe the myth, mom is good, mom loves me, therefore I must be the problem. It's safer for you to believe you're the problem. So you keep protecting her.
Hmm.
You don't want to say it because you don't want to hurt her. I would rather hurt myself than hurt her. You want to know why no one's loving you? Because you don't even love you enough to protect you. You're wanting her protection, but you won't even protect yourself. And I'm not trying to be a fucking dick here, but tell me I'm wrong. Your actions are indicate you are protecting her at the expense of a child. I don't understand.
Hmm. I know. I I would say maybe 50% she was a good mom.
If I didn't let you choose 50-50, because I think that's a wishy-washy
Yeah, I
answer,
know.
any other numbers, what number would you choose? What percent was mom a good mom? What percent was mom a bad mom?
Then 60%
What?
good.
Okay. Then why would you be afraid to say, oh, I'm afraid to say this number? 60% good? That sounds like a good number. Why would you be afraid to say that number?
I guess just because I know that'll hurt her
Is
because
it
she had.
possible you're protecting your mom with the 60% number? Is it possible that's not the full truth?
I mean, it's always possible.
Okay, if you were to pick a perhaps more accurate number, if you weren't afraid of hurting her at all, if you were just for a moment in time to just tell the truth, the absolute rock bottom truth, and just let it be what it is without any fear of losing mom or anyone else, what's the truth?
Maybe 30% good.
You just cut it in half.
Yep.
That means 70% bad. Just out of curiosity, do you have children of your own?
Nope.
No. Okay. If you had children of your own, what percent of mom's parenting technique would you deliberately use in the parenting of your own children?
0.
Oh, zero. And yet you claim mom is 30% a good parent. It would seem that if mom were 30% a good parent, you would use 30% of her parenting technique.
You would think.
And yet you say 0%. That inclines me to believe maybe she wasn't even 30% a good parent, because otherwise, why the hell aren't you using the good parts of what she did? You're fundamentally saying there was nothing good about her parenting.
I think she did the bare minimum, the
Right.
feed.
But you just said I wouldn't use any of her parenting technique. Zero.
Yeah, I guess I look at it from outside of just what the normal, what you should do as a parent.
What's the bare minimum?
Make
As you
sure
see.
your kids eat, go to sleep, have clothes, a
Oh,
place to
okay.
live.
Just out of curiosity, if you hadn't been born, would your mom have a roof over her head and food on the table?
I would assume so.
Ah, so she didn't do that for you.
Hmm.
So she didn't do the bare minimum for you. She did. She was already doing that for herself, and you just happened to walk in. But
Mm.
technically, that's not really parenting, is it?
Right.
Right. And so, just out of curiosity, then, if a parent is 30% a good parent, but maybe even less if we're only using 0% of their parenting, and the child is getting the message they're not good enough and they need to be perfect, and so on and so forth. Is the problem really the child, or is the problem really the parent?
It's a parent.
Is it possible for a child to not matter?
No, kids matter.
I notice you wear a cross around your neck. I'm going to assume you're a Christian.
Hmm.
Do you believe that your God that you worship makes junk?
No,
Ah, so you weren't junk.
nope.
So that little girl was sweet and smart and kind, beautiful and wonderful and rambunctious and playful, laughter filled, and a human,
Hmm.
another human, one who was one of the two people at the top of the list charged with protecting and bringing that child love, taught that child that she wasn't good enough and that she didn't matter.
Hmm.
You believe that is an execution of God's will or a bastardization
Yeah,
of
it
it?
definitely wasn't.
That's right. They took what God made good and taught it that it was bad, and here you are 36 years later, still believing the lie.
Hmm.
The bottom line is that you have to go in, and the threads are there, right where you're crying right now. That's where you start pulling the threads. The things where you know you're blocked, that's where you start pulling the threads. The notion of you're not picking me is where you start pulling threads. Where we start pulling the threads is um, uh, seeing the anger over your sister, her continuing to choose your sister again and again, or start with the anger at your sister. Don't even start with mom. Start with that. But there's so much there. And you're healing yourself. Your believing yourself, your finding yourself begins with you having the courage to finally, for the first time, look at that 5-year-old version of yourself. Truly look at her and stand in front of her with your back to her and say to that mother of your childhood, not the living, breathing one today, the mother of your childhood, and say, back the fuck off, bitch. This girl behind me is good. That 36-year-old you has to begin to give that child the love and the protection that she was not given. Now, you've been great here, Reese. We're gonna go to a commercial, and I want to bring our next guest on. Would you be willing to stick around perhaps to the end of the show?
Sure.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Reese. And right, a bit more right after this short break.
Okay, well, you've heard the podcast, you've listened to other people's issues, maybe you've studied hundreds of Sven's TikTok videos. Time to stop lurking, face your fears, and focus directly on the one person in your life who can benefit the most from Sven's experience and insight. Now, that would be you. Just go to badasscounseling.com and order Sven's book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. Or check out his many video courses. Sven found a way to help himself out of a 12 years depression. It worked for him, and it can work for you too. Check out badasscounseling.com today.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
And we are back with the Badass Counseling Show. Rob, go ahead and tell us about Zura.
I'd be happy to, Sven. Zura wrote in and said, I've been in a 4-year relationship with a woman who has another partner. I've struggled with it since the beginning, but because I love her and her kids, I've tried to move forward and accept it. I've struggled with depression and anxiety and deep-rooted insecurities I didn't know were there until I was in this situation and read your book. I feel my depression has been making me physically sick for the past 7 months. I feel ready to leave at times, but I don't know how. I need help. The VA therapists have not done much for me. I'm tired, exhausted, and am desperate.
Zura, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for your service. We're very grateful on this show.
Thank you.
You bet. First of all, I want to acknowledge, just so I've got this straight, you are in a non-monogamous relationship. Is that correct?
Technically, yeah.
Well, how do you characterize it? I'm sure I'm getting the language wrong. There's so many fucking words nowadays. I can't keep this shit straight. Tell me what it is.
I don't even know the language or the letters. I'll be honest. I'm terrible at all that. So I'm
basically a
monogamous.
polyamorous lesbian relationship, right?
Yeah, but I'm monogamous to her, but she has another partner, and then
sweet deal for her. Okay.
Yeah, and then that partner is monogamous to her as well. So she's the only one that's poly, and we are both monogamous to her.
Wow. This is like every guy's dream, except, okay, so we know that women aren't fucking innocent of this gene then. Okay.
Right.
Enough fucking around. All right. So your woman that you're in love with, we're going to call her Queenie.
All right.
Because she clearly is ruling the roost here or something. Anyway, and then we're going to call the other person number 2. All right. So I've struggled. You make this very interesting comment. I've struggled with depression and anxiety and deep-rooted insecurities. I didn't know were there until I was in this situation. So that sentence implies that the depression, anxiety, and deep-rooted insecurities predated this relationship. The way you phrase that sentence says they were there, but they didn't really only come out until this relationship. Or did you mean to say, I never had them before, it's only since this relationship that now I have depression, anxiety, and insecurities?
No, you nailed it with the first explanation. Things that were there that I didn't realize were there until they were definitely amplified.
Okay, fair enough. And so then I have to ask this question. What do you think, when do you think, if you were to just play with it, we're just playing around with ideas here, Zura, when do you think the depression, anxiety, or insecurities, any of those or all of those, when do you think that shit started?
Now that I've been working on it for the last few years, I'd probably go all the way back to like middle school.
Why
I
middle
came
school?
out.
You
I
didn't
came
say
out at a
elementary, you didn't
very
say high school. Why middle school?
yeah. So I came out at a very early age. I was like 9 or 10, maybe.
Wow.
I didn't know what the word lesbian meant, but I knew that I liked girls. So going into like a little bit, couple years later, as more people found out and stuff, I lost a lot of friends. They didn't want to be like labeled gay by association kind of thing. And then the bullying kind of started, and at my home, my older sister is also a lesbian, and so I kind of got treated like, you're just trying to copy your sister, like this is just a phase, like you're gonna be fine, you're gonna grow out of it, and 30-something years later,
she's real, but you're a phony.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're like, no, I'll show you how lesbian I am.
Right.
Double, triple lesbian. I'm gonna be a lesbian forever times 6.
Yeah.
Right. I'll show you, motherfucker. Okay, got it. So she's saying you're a phony. All right. So you're eating shit from your sister. You're eating shit, losing some friends, you're getting bullied at school. Okay. But this is who I am. This is my identity, right? We all straight up to this point. Okay. Just out of curiosity, what's the messaging you're getting from mom and dad regarding your coming out?
So my dad was already out of the picture. Probably left when I was like 4 or 5. I don't really remember much of that time era.
Okay, mom.
From my mom, like I said, she handled it fine. Like there was no backlash from it, or
what was the message you got?
Even with my sister, she was great. But it was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. It's just a phase. Like.
Oh, wait a minute. So you got just the face. That wasn't just from your sister. You're saying you got it from...
No. That was from my mom. Like that was from like the gist of my family.
So let me ask you then. You say you have a partner, you have a relationship with a woman, and she has kids. How old are her kids, just out of curiosity?
9, and the youngest is going to be 4.
Okay, 9 and 4. nine girl, boy, non-binary, what?
The 9-year-old's a boy and the 4-year-old's a girl.
Okay. If the 9-year-old came out as gay, would you say to the 9-year-old, it's just a phase?
Hell no.
Because why? In one sentence or less.
I just think that's a horrible phrase.
Why? Help those of us who aren't gay today or ever, help us understand, why is that a horrible phrase? What's the underlying message being conveyed to the child?
You don't know what you're feeling, or like you're diminishing like what their feelings are.
Right. And in this
Basically,
case,
like you don't matter. Like,
right. And you're not just technically, in this case, diminishing your feelings. I mean, if you said, if little Billy, that 9-year-old boy of your partner, said, I'm really angry at you, and you said, you're not. That's not anger. You're happy. That's diminishing a feeling.
right.
If little Billy comes out and says, I am queer as a $3 bill, and you say, you're going through a phase, that's not diminishing feelings. That's diminishing literally his identity.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit bigger. I know what you meant to say, but just for the record, in terms of language, that's a whole lot bigger than just diminishing feelings. And so you said it's a horrible phrase, and it conveys your diminishing feelings, and I added identity, and it also conveys you don't matter. And yet, literally 3.5 minutes ago, you said, Mom handled it fine. Sounds like the single most powerful person in your life, when you shared your inner identity, when you spoke your truth, your biggest truth, up to that point in your life, your mom negated it.
Yeah.
Sounds like she didn't handle it fine. Now, I could be getting it wrong, but you're the one who called it a horrible phrase. So your mother, when you come out of the fucking closet, not only at 9, but I'm guessing at 11, at 13, did mom ever stop saying you'll grow out of it, or believing it?
I don't think it was something that was repeated. I think it just like that phrase just kind of like phased out as they realized like, oh no, like she really is.
And when did mom see you as, oh, she really is?
Probably not closer till high school when I actually started like dating.
And so then we're talking like roughly 15-ish?
Yeah, 15.
Ish. Okay. So we're talking about 6 years roughly.
That it just really wasn't like talked about.
Right. And did the belief that your feelings don't matter, you don't matter, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, did that belief that mom had been conveying, and she had never undid it, it just sort of faded away. So it was never spoken to the child, wow, you do know what you're doing. Or if that did happen, it didn't happen until at least 15.
Mm-hmm.
So for at least 6 years of your life, you're living under the belief that you don't know your identity doesn't fucking matter. It's not true.
Right.
Right. Is that likely something that would imprint upon a person?
Definitely.
Right. Right. Zura, how old are you now?
34.
What is the fundamental thing that you are not getting from your present day partner? In one sentence or less, what does it boil down to?
Feeling good enough and feeling wanted.
Because if I were good enough, then you would want me?
Yeah.
So you're not feeling wanted, which implies, and I'm just going to tinker with it, you set me straight, that if you wanted me, you'd want to spend more time with me and give me more attention?
Yeah.
So you're wanting more time and attention.
But when I bring those things up, I get made to feel selfish. I used to see myself as a pretty selfless person. I was always giving and did everything for everybody, definitely a people pleaser. And these last several years in this relationship, like I've never seen myself more selfish in my life.
You've never
So that,
seen yourself more selfish or never
yeah,
been called more selfish?
both.
Oh, really? What do
But
you do?
now it's become
What do
like
you
my truth
do?
as well.
Help me understand. What do you do that's quote unquote selfish?
When I
You said
ask
you see
for,
it, so I want to hear
yeah,
just how ragingly selfish you are.
wanting more time, wanting more
That's
affection.
disgusting. Wanting more time with a lover? What kind of sick fuck are you? You
Yeah,
twisted
yeah,
little fuck. More time? Oh my God. You're like the anomaly. No good person wants more time with the person they love. That's twisted. Fucking lesbians, I tell you.
right? I don't understand how I am one, and I don't understand them for shit.
Okay, now let me ask you, do you truly believe that it is selfish to want more time with the person you love?
Not in a general way, but I guess I've learned to understand, like, in this situation, like,
How,
she
okay,
has
in
another
this situation,
partner. Yeah.
okay, okay. So in this situation, there's Queenie at the center. There's
Yes.
you, number one, though you don't feel like number one. There's number two, and then there's Queenie's kids. Right.
So it's more like, we'll say Queenie, her kids, her work, her co-parent with the kids. Um, the way I feel is then number two and then number one.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I'm actually the partner that physically lives with her and the kids. The other partner does not.
And
So
how does
I
Queenie
do feel like I
benefit?
get the
How
less.
does Queenie benefit from you living with her?
I pay, I mean, just logically wise, I pay half of the bills, I buy all the groceries, I do all the yard work,
and,
all the
and what do
typical
you get out
lesbian
of
shit.
this? And what do you get out of this? For if you're pumping in half of the, just looking at bills alone and yard work and so forth, just out of curiosity, do you help with kids?
I try to when she lets me.
Okay, when she lets you.
She
Okay.
lets the other partner do a lot more with the kids,
Ah,
which
oh
is,
wow.
yeah,
So you are
that's a
paying
big for me.
half the bills, doing the yard work. You're not really allowed to play with kids. That there's a co-parent and there's number two. So those are two separate people. So
Hmm.
number two is allowed to play with the kids. Obviously, co-parent is allowed to play with kids because they're the fucking parent. And you, even though you're paying half the bills and doing yard work and shit like that, you're not allowed to play with kids and you don't get enough time. Let me ask you, what would be the single biggest thing that you would want in terms of wanting more time and attention from your partner?
After reading your book, I've learned so much about myself. I'm definitely the love camel. Like, I would
Okay.
take, like, let's all just have a movie night and pillows and blankets on the floor and just hang out. Like,
Movie
simple
night.
shit.
And you say, wait a minute, and you said let's all. So by
Yeah, like,
all, you mean
if the other partner has to be there, fine. But, like, I just want to spend time with her and the kids.
her and the kids. So you're not even saying, I just want you. You're saying even you and the kids. Yes, it'd
Yeah,
be optional.
she's a package deal. I understand that. Like, I
So
would
so
love
you're
one-on-one time,
okay.
but
So
I
you're
mean,
so selfish that I'm not even asking for you alone. I'm willing to have you and the kids. And you know what? You can invite your other partner too. And I have to tell you now, Zura, all right, this is me talking to you straight, joking aside. There is no definition of selfish that fits under. If you were in, let's say, let me tell you how straight folk work, and just straight folk, let's say a woman is dating a man with kids, she wants, or a man who's dating a woman with kids, what does he want? What does she want? They want time alone with you apart from your kids. And
mm,
eventually, I'd love to get to know your kids too, but I want time alone with you. Otherwise, how the fuck are we going to have a relationship? That's not a relationship.
Yeah.
You are in her service. You are fundamentally engaged in a relationship from where I sit, and I could be wrong. What I'm saying, throw it in the trash if it doesn't fit, okay? But from where I am sitting, you are engaged in a relationship that absolutely confirms the precise message your mother taught you. You don't matter. It's confirming that. She's just happy to take your money, happy to take your service, and give you nothing. And the worst part about it is that you're saying, okay, now I have done shit in my life. So I'm not judging here. All right. Well, I'm the last motherfucker who can judge anybody. It's not about judgment. That doesn't help anything. But the bottom line is that you so believe that you don't matter, that you're happy to be that relationship camel that I talk about. And there's a hole in my love cup. That just give me a little bit of love. I can go a long distance on a little bit of water in my hump, a little bit of fat in my hump. Just give me a little bit of love and I'll do everything for you. And that imbalance is your confirming, I don't matter. And she has you so convinced that you're selfish. I want you to think of it this way. Maybe you've heard me say this before, and you would have seen it in the book. But remember, if you think of total selfless and total selfish on like a continuum, on a line, at one end is totally selfless, and at the other end is totally selfish. And you've been way over here at totally selfless your whole life, it sounds like. Is that accurate?
I mean, I've always tried to live pretty selfless.
Pretty selfless. And that's very common with people in this service as well, that sort of ethos. But also, just growing up, it sounds like yourself, you were taught yourself doesn't matter. And just look at your relationship now. You're selfless, you're giving, just give me a little bit in return. So let's say you're way over here towards totally selfless. The thing about someone, you're not even in the middle, which is sort of a balance between selfless and totally selfish. But when someone does something, even one little thing for themselves, we call it selfish, like it's bad. But if you're totally selfless or more or less very much a people pleaser way over there in that selfless realm, if you do one tiny thing for yourself, all the other people who are used to you serving them say, look at how selfish you are. Oh my God, you're such a pig. Why, God? Yet the interesting thing, people who at the other end, who are totally selfless, the second they do one little thing, this a little bit selfless, they say, look at how, please, will everyone just look for a minute at how selfless I am? I am Jesus Christ incarnate. That is how selfless I am. Look at me. It's incredible. I shock even myself. Right. And she has you believing you're selfish. You're so selfish that you want time with her and her kids and even her partner if necessary. Can we just have a movie night? There's no definition of selfish that fits under. You're being fed a bunch of shit to keep you serving Queenie at the top and paying half the bills and feeling lucky maybe to get it, and you hate it. And what's interesting is I've struggled with it since the beginning. Have you struggled with being in a non-monogamous relationship, or have you struggled with the fact that your needs for time and attention aren't being met, or is it something else?
It was the non-monogamous part.
And why did you choose?
So when we met, I had just gotten divorced. So when she told me she had another partner, I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like that kind of like will keep me from not jumping into something serious, which did not work. So that got thrown into my face a lot the first couple of years. Like when I would bring up that I was struggling, that she had another partner, and it was always like, well, you pretty much you knew what you signed up for. Like,
right, your problem.
You're not happy. Yeah, right. If you're not happy, there's the door. Nothing's keeping you here. And yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just bullying. She doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to hear about your feelings. She doesn't want to do anything to make you feel loved in a relationship. So you're fundamentally in a relationship where your needs for love are not being met. And you didn't want to jump back into a new relationship fundamentally because why?
My marriage was very toxic and
But what
very
did you fear
tumultuous.
happening? Why didn't you want to jump back into a relationship?
I knew I felt like I had to like figure myself out.
Okay.
Um, After getting discharged from the military, it was due to medical things, so that kind of brought out a lot for me as well. Um,
And so, what do you think the biggest thing is that you needed to figure out?
why I don't feel good enough.
And isn't it safe to say, in a very fucked up way, that this relationship has given you precisely what you wanted, and that is to begin to figure things out? It's forced you to realize, by your own admission, holy shit, I'm depressed, I have anxiety and deep-rooted insecurity. And it's really brought it so powerfully to you, and you keep holding on. I feel ready to leave at times, but I don't know how. Now, the truth is, you know how to get an apartment or share a room. You know how to pay a bill. You know how to take care of yourself, I'm guessing. So, at least physically. But the bottom line is that this has forced you to realize, okay, this is the shit, the depression, the anxiety, and the deeper relationship. So it's giving you that the opportunity to pull on that thread. And so, what do you think the biggest obstruction is presently in your life, or the biggest thing is that you're wrestling with right now, deep down, that needs to be healed before a new relationship? At the root of it all, what do you think it really is?
I think it's really the biggest insecurity I have is not being good enough. Like I was even rereading some of the journals I did after the book, and like I talk a lot about like the masks, and like I just feel like I'm always wearing masks for different people and
And where
different
do you
situations. I have to match people's energy. Like,
And let me ask you this. We talked about, when you came out at 9 or 10 and being told, you're just going through a phase and so forth. But did you somehow in that message get the message you weren't good enough? Or when was the earliest and in what form in your life did you get the message that you're not good enough, that you're not lovable the way you are?
so when I look back at like all that stuff now, I see the it's just a phase or whatever is like telling me that I didn't matter or whatever. But back then, like it definitely felt like I wasn't good enough to be me. Like I was only a carbon copy of my sister. I was just her shadow. Like all I wanted to do was be my sister, and so it was like no matter how hard I tried to show who I was or be myself, like it was never good enough. They just saw it as you're trying to be your sister.
Wow. Wow. And how did that feel? Give me a feeling word.
Oh, it was shitty.
Give me a feeling
uh,
feeling word. Mad,
it's
sad,
lonely. I
lonely.
was,
And you're lonely in this relationship. I'm betting
yeah.
there was loneliness in the marriage,
Hmm.
right? Not good enough to be me. And so all the masks that you're wearing, and the single greatest fear driving you that causes you to put on these masks is what? Is it that I don't know who I am? Is it that if I show you who I am, you may not like me? I won't have any friends? What's the fear of being me that causes you to put on the masks?
I think now, like, my biggest fear has become like I've had to wear so many different masks that if I finally get to the end of them, that I'm just blank.
So then are you saying I don't know
I
who
don't.
I am without
Yeah,
them?
I don't know who I am. I can't even remember. I mean, besides like my short time in the military, like I can't think of a time besides that I felt like myself.
Why did you feel like yourself in the military?
It was everything I had wanted since I was a kid. Um, I was
Specifically,
very
why?
overweight, so it took me years to actually get into the military.
Yeah.
I had to lose like 75 pounds to get in.
But why did you feel
Um,
like yourself above all else?
it was the first time I actually did something that I wanted to do.
And why did you want to do it? Why?
I wanted to serve. I wanted to Protect. I mean, that in itself ended up being another thing that people relayed back to my sister because she was in the Marines and I joined the Army, and like I did ROTC in school, and like I just,
And what would you
ever
do?
since I was a kid, I always felt like I was put on this earth to serve and be there for people. And as I got older, like I wanted to be either in the military or a police officer.
Mhm.
And
And so when you dream, what do you dream of next?
so now my body's so broken, I can't do much. My back's all messed up. I just got 100% disability from the VA,
Okay.
which is
So you
nice.
still,
But
yeah, but you still got at least 50 or 60 years left. So unless you're choosing that your life's over, you've got to reinvent. And you're certainly not the first person with back problems. So in terms of being
yeah,
physical,
no.
okay. So then within the given parameters of the body that you have, what have you thought about? What do you do with the love of serving and the love of protecting or the love of helping others? What do you do with that? What have you dreamed about?
I've talked to a couple of friends about it, but in these last 4 years, like I feel like I've tried to change so much to fit into her life and to be the person that she wants that I've lost a lot of the things that I did
What's
like
the
about
biggest fear?
myself or
What's the
cared
biggest
about
fear?
before.
What's the biggest fear in getting out of this relationship? Because if that's part of the blockage, if that's one thing that you have in your life that is not you, that is sucking the fucking life out of you, and yes, it's identified the healing you need to do. And yes, you definitely need to go in. Because clearly, if you're staying in a shitty relationship that long where you're being so mistreated and you're allowing it, clearly you still have messaging inside of you. Clearly, it's time to loop back into the book and go deeper because there's more threads that need to be pulled on there. But I want to know, what's your single biggest fear that keeps you from getting out of the relationship? What really are we talking about? Boil it down to one sentence. What really is it you're most afraid of? Is it that if I don't have someone, then all those messages inside of me come bubbling up and it's like, see, I'm fucking no good. I'm a loser. I'm whatever. Or is it the idea of now I got to pay bills on my own and I don't know if I can do it by myself? Or is it, people are going to laugh at me? Or is it what, or my mom's going to say, I told you so? Or what is it that you're most afraid of in ending this relationship?
Don't want to hurt her.
Oh, wow. Did you listen to Reese's story?
I did.
Do you remember what she said? Why she didn't want to, when I asked her the question, what percent was your mom a good parent? What percent was your mom a bad parent? Do you remember what she said?
She didn't want to hurt her.
Didn't want to hurt her. So you are fundamentally protecting your partner at the expense of yourself. You are fundamentally conveying to the universe, I don't matter. See, now it's not even your mom doing it anymore. Now
Yeah,
it's not your
it's
partner
me.
doing it. Now it's me. I am engaging in this belief system. Now it's you denigrating that 9-year-old, that 11-year-old. Now it's you turning to that 11-year-old, that 14-year-old, and saying, sorry, kiddo, you don't matter. You still don't matter today. Fuck you. Now it's you. You so bought into their bullshit that was never true. That little 9-year-old that you were, that little 12-year-old that you were, it was tough and so sweet and so beautiful and kind and yet aggressive if she needed to be and creative. That little girl that you were was wonderful, and she was fed a load of shit by mom, by sister, by bullies, by friends who left her. It was a load of shit then, and she needs you now to go back and begin to get those messages out and to begin to say, you matter enough to walk away, because you are allowing that 9-year-old girl to be hurt right now today, because you are allowing someone to confirm that message every day that you stay. Every day that you stay and allow someone to treat you this way. Do you know that in my relationship with my partner, we fight like cats and dogs all the time? We do. But my partner goes out of her way to love me in ways that I like to be loved. I go out of my way even in the middle of a fight. I go out of my way to get her the morning coffee or because that's important to her when she's still in bed or just getting out of bed or whatever. We go out of our way. A loving relationship is where I can't outgive the other person. That's love. And but it begins with that I know it's not just one person giving all the love. That's extreme giving, and you've met an extreme taker who needs two people loving on her. God knows if she's using her children to get her love needs met. She's got two people pouring love into her love cup, sweet, and you're not getting anything from it poured into your love cup. And you feel the need to protect her. It sounds like she's got plenty of people around her protecting you, or protecting her, who will be happy to say to her how much of a bitch you are. So I don't think she needs much protection. And I'm sure you're fearful of what she'll say or what they'll say or what have you. But in the end, at what point in your life do you fucking matter enough to you? Because you matter to me. Because I guarantee you, every single fucking person listening to this fucking show, I guarantee it because I know my listeners, every single person is saying, oh my God, Zura, run. Zura, you're giving so much. You're a wonderful person. Queenie's just fucking robbing from everyone. She's robbing you blind and making you feel bad about it. Like you should be more worried about her feelings. I mean, just out of curiosity, in your home growing up, whose feelings were most important that everyone had to be worried about?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me it was my mom.
From where you were sitting, I'm just curious. And just out of curiosity, whose feelings was mom most concerned about?
As kids, it was definitely my oldest siblings because of some stuff that happened.
Okay.
Um,
And whose feelings were your oldest siblings, like your sister, most concerned about? Yours?
Her own.
Her own. Hmm. So you're feeding into mom. Mom's feeding into your oldest sister. Older sister's feeding into her own. Yeah. Sounds like a shitty deal for you. You're sucking hind tit. Yeah. And so the bottom line is, at some point, your pain is going to get bad enough, and it's not there yet. Bad now, but it's going to get worse. Change won't occur until the pain gets bad enough. Your pain's going to get worse. This is going to suck worse. Why? Because from where I'm sitting, and I could be totally wrong, your soul is screaming, we got to get out of here. Why? Your soul needs room to recreate itself. Your soul, at the very least, your soul is screaming, this is not who we are. And every day that you exist in this setting, you are shouting to the universe, I don't matter enough to protect myself. See, you're not protecting yourself from Queenie and from number two and everyone else. And so that message inside of you is still inside of you. I'm not good enough to be me. Are you good enough to be you, to honor you, to be, because your own feelings are saying this doesn't feel good. Your own energy is saying this doesn't feel good. So are you good enough to be, for you to get out? That's the question. That for the first time in your life, you are being challenged. That the situation had to get so fucking bad that for the first time in your life, you're being challenged. Choose you. You've never chosen you in your fucking miserable life, have you?
No.
No. And this, I see this a million fucking times, where call it God or the universe or whatever your theology is, has to make life so bad, so painful, before someone finally chooses themselves. And that is fundamentally an act of self-affirmation. The affirmation you've been wanting your whole life from someone else, life is finally saying you have to give it to yourself. What are you feeling right now? I'm just curious. Be honest.
I'm trying.
Take your time. It's okay. Just take your time.
I mean, besides exhausted, I'd say that there's almost a glimpse of hope.
And that's fair. So exhausted and hope. And what is the single most exhausting part?
Just tired. Like
Tired of
like
what?
of the
Tired from what?
give, and at times it's like I feel like she doesn't see it or appreciate it, or I can bend over backwards and do this and do 3 flips, and then it's like, oh, you didn't do this over here, and it's like, fuck.
Never enough.
Yeah, and
That's right.
I'm just
And
exhausted.
you're so wanting what from her? In one sentence, you give, 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 and you are so wanting what? What does it boil down to?
I want her to see me
Yeah,
and to want me and
that's it.
to,
See me, want me, and what?
yeah, I think that's it. Just,
See me and want me, right? Because what we look at, what we see, and what we want is important. Is something that we're saying is important.
yeah,
If I see that shiny new bike, I see it. Wow, it's pretty. Shiny red one, and I want it. That has value. Something I don't see or don't want doesn't have value. So by her not seeing you and not choosing you, she's
I
saying
don't feel
outside
valued.
no value. So your soul life, the universe is challenging you to finally value yourself. You're not seeing you. You're not valuing you. You're not wanting your freedom and your happiness, and your soul is saying it's fine. Time for you to see you. It's time for you to want your happiness. It's time for you to value you. And it's scary as fuck. And you said you also feel hope. What's the hope?
That one day that I can do it.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's like I can see all these things, I could acknowledge them, and it's just like I just need to find that thing that'll make me take the
No.
step.
No, it's not even that. It's just going into the truth is, it's just like Reese. And Reese, I'm going to pull you back into the room here. It's just like with Reese, that in the end, what you have to be doing is you have to be going in and going in and going in because you're just like Reese, your problems have nothing to do with this relationship. This relationship was sent to highlight, to help you see. You said it yourself in perfect language. I've struggled with depression, anxiety, and deeper insecurities. I didn't know were there until I was in this situation. They were
Yeah.
always there. We're dealing with that shit back there. Reese, I want to ask you,
Mhm.
what's going on inside of you, Reese? I beat you up for a while, and then I go over to Zura and I'm beating her up. She listened to your story, and now you've listened to her story. What's going on inside of you about your story, about her, about anything? What's going on inside of you, Reese?
Well, I can relate a lot to her story because I was in a relationship like that for 13 years,
Hmm.
and it took a lot for me to get out. Um,
What was the
and
hardest
it,
part for you?
I didn't have anywhere to go in finances. I paid for a lot of things. He took a lot from me. Um, but hearing the sadness in her voice reminds me of how low I felt and how alone I felt in that. And it also reminds me about pretty much how I feel right now in my family. And I don't want to feel like this anymore. And I do want to get out. And I feel bad that I haven't chosen me my whole life.
And what I heard also that in the similarity was how you ended your write up by saying you're tired, and how
Yeah.
Zora says, I'm exhausted.
I'm so tired.
All the giving, all the doing, all the wanting to be seen and chosen, right?
Yep.
Mm,
I feel for her a lot because I get it.
yeah. And it's just interesting in both your stories, and it's not always this way, but it's just so interesting in both your stories how the origin of the messaging is your mother's,
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. I was like, whoa.
right? Right. And it could just easily be a father or, whoever raised you, a grandfather or an uncle or auntie or
Well, he
whatever.
wasn't much better either. So,
And so there's that. And so there's, right. And so let me ask you, Reese, what are you
Mm.
feeling? What are you feeling? Be honest.
um, sad
What's the saddest part?
that it's taken me this long to see that I just keep picking everybody but me.
And just out of curiosity, taking me this long implies you're disappointed or you're angry or you're something at your past self. Like, damn it, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, disappointed.
Okay. And yet, wouldn't it be safe to say, Reese, and this goes to you too, Zura, wouldn't it be safe to say that if anyone should understand what 28-year-old Reese was going through, you're 36 now, but if anybody should understand what 28-year-old you was going through, what 19-year-old you was going through, what 14-year-old you was going through, if anybody should understand the amount of hurt and pain and sadness and anger you had inside of you, wouldn't it be you? If anyone should be compassionate towards past you, rather than beating her up for not seeing it sooner and fixing it sooner, shouldn't the one person on God's green earth who should be compassionate towards old you be you?
Yeah.
Can't you just go easy on her? Hasn't she taken enough of a beating? 25-year-old you and 15-year-old you, and just say, hey, you know what? She was just trying to keep her head above water. She did her
Hmm.
best. She did her best, and she did pretty damn well, all things considered. And now you have the opportunity for her and for 9-year-old her and for 4-year-old her and 2-year-old her. You have the chance now. And Zura, you have the chance now at 34. You have the chance now, and you guys are so fucking young, you don't even know it. You have the chance now to do it. And it requires going in to the very things you're blocked on, to the very things you're most scared to touch now. Because this fucking problem ain't going away. I mean, shit. I think you've learned it by now, ladies. This fucking problem ain't going away. Am I correct?
Right.
Yeah. And I know it at times it feels hopeless and hard and so forth. Can I tell you one of the things that I hear? And I counsel people of all ages. One of the things when I talk with women and with men, but you guys are both women, so I'll say with regard to women, when I talk with men, or excuse me, women in their 50s, and their 60s, and their 70s, and even their 80s, and I ask them just sort of playfully, if you could go back and relive, let's say, any 10-year period of your life, what period would you choose? And obviously, everybody has a different answer, obviously. And some say those teen years, some say they're 20s, et cetera, et cetera. But you want to know what the most common answer is?
30s.
Majority. Mid 30s to mid 40s. Because it's when what I hear reported from them is they finally begin to find themselves. They finally begin to give themselves permission to let go of what they were conditioned to believe about themselves. They finally begin to find their courage. And quite frankly, they still have good skin. You know, they still feel good about their body and, you know, all the physical things. But they finally begin to come into their power. The way I want you to think of yourselves, because you're both so in the same spot, yet very different life circumstances, but I think you both can hear it. You're both so in the same spot, dealing with so much the same issue or very similar. You're both in the birthing canal, and the new you is being birthed. And it's painful. Do you know that when a child's head is in the birthing canal, it actually compresses? That's why when a child is born, they actually have a hole in the top of their head because the skull compresses and then it expands when it comes out, right? And the pressure. I had a client, a young woman who's a rancher, and she said that a baby calf can actually be born and not know that it's been born. So they'll actually have to like wrap a belt around its chest and like sit on it or some shit and fundamentally relive the birthing process and create that sense of pressure and release to make it feel like it's been born. Otherwise, it'll die because whatever system's in the cow don't know. I don't fucking understand it. All right. My daughter-in-law went to vet school. I still don't understand it. The bottom line is you're both going through this tight cavernous, dark spot in your lives. You're in the birthing canal, and your head is compressing, and your chest is compressing, and it's bleeding all of the tears. And you're still holding in that anger, but inside of that anger is your no, it's your sense of I, but it's all in there. Inside the anger, inside the sadness is that self-affirmation that, God damn it, I matter. And remember, in the words in the book that I write in Love Cup, I quote one of my favorite authors, Joseph Campbell, when he's talking about birth, whether it's the calf or the girl or the giraffe, there is no birth, or the birth, the soul's birth that you're each going through. There is no birth without blood and the tearing of flesh, whether literally or metaphorically.
Mhm.
And what you're experiencing right now, to use the language you're comfortable with, Reese, is God is breaking you of all that you were conditioned to believe. To use your language, Zura, the drill sergeant is drilling you of the belief that you know shit, that all the bullshit you were taught about yourself isn't true, that you have greatness inside of you. And I've got to break you of all your old habits and the habits of your old belief systems that you don't matter. Because it was bullshit when your mothers taught you that, and everyone else and the other bullies in your lives taught you that. It was bullshit then, and it's still now. You both had older sisters who bullied you. You both had parents. You both had a parent who endorsed it, who allowed it. What the actual fuck? Neither of you was protected. Each of you was taught that your voice doesn't matter, that you don't matter. And it was bullshit in both cases. Isn't it fascinating how two women so very, very different
A
are
little
so
bit.
very, very much alike at the essence of who that little girl is inside of you?
Yep.
And the truth is, each of you has all the power to set her free. You've been waiting for someone else to validate you. It's time to validate yourself, because ain't nobody going to fall in love with you till you fall in love with yourself. Let me ask final questions, either of you.
I think I get it.
Zura?
No, I think I got the ass kicking I signed up for.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and
No, don't be sorry.
fair. Reese, any final thoughts for Zura? Or words?
Just remember you matter, because it does, and it feels better when you get on the other side of the relationship.
Thank you.
And Zura, any final thoughts or words for Reese?
Same back to you. I mean, I have weird relationships with my family, but we need to both figure out how to take care of ourselves and stop focusing on everybody else.
For sure.
That's right. And that means you both need to go deep inside yourself. You got to go back into Love Cup. You got it. Because what's blocking you both is those messages still inside of you that got pressed into the Love Cup. It's not about putting good messages in. It's about pulling out those old ones, which means you got to have the balls to go back into the deep stuff, which means no longer protecting your moms.
Yep.
No longer protecting your lovers, beginning to protect that 6, that 9, that 11-year-old self. Furthermore, if you're not already, we have 2 groups. We have the Badass Counseling group, which is free on Facebook. There's like 45,000 members. We have the Intimate group, which is a paid thing on the website, Community Plus. Those are some opportunities in which people are doing this work together, especially Community Plus. But you have to go inside and do the fucking ugly work, ladies. It ain't gonna fucking heal itself. I
Yep.
love you both. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Rob,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any final thoughts, Rob?
Well, I think you're right in that they are young and they have plenty of time to work on this and figure it out. Speaking as a septuagenarian, is that right? 70s?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Seven. Yep.
I only figured a lot of this out recently. And it's still okay at this age. And what I found is very helpful is you have to stop defending the indefensible. And that's my best advice for both of you.
And Rob, I mean, that's really interesting, because in a way, you're almost double their age. Can there be
Stop.
self-love? Can there be self-love after 70? Can there be love from another after that self-love, after 70, after 60? Can it happen, Rob?
Let me tell you something. Life begins at 75.
So is that a yes then, Rob? Can you, in other words, is it ever too late to fall in love with yourself?
No, I'm getting ready, working on it.
Yeah. And there it is. And
It's
so imagine if, for these young ladies doing it in their 30s, what a wonderful opportunity. So much life left to live.
in that I am jealous, ladies, and wish you the best.
Whole lot of my
Thank you.
listeners are as well. Absolutely. Thank you for being on this show, ladies. Thank you, Rob, for running yet another great show. On behalf of all of my listeners, I say thank you to Reese and Zura. Just wonderful stories and wonderful women. I know there's a great future ahead as long as they have the balls to do it. To all of our listeners listening in from everywhere, I love you. Thanks for tuning in and have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.